Scrolls fans, Smogan here with another episode of Scrollscast, this time working off of No Heroes Replay mod, so this will be a fast and furious game. We have two very strong players that are floating around the top 10 of the ladder. We have GuidoFubini on the left. I think it's Guido, it might be Guido, I'm not actually sure. But either way, he'll be playing a mono growth deck, and it looks to be, if I remember correctly, one that takes advantage of the old-fashioned wolf synergy, so mangy wolves and things like that. Has some breakers in his opening hand, and Tajic on the right, who I think is playing an energy build. Looks like, yes indeed, it is a mono energy range build from the looks of it. Lots of tier 3 scrolls between the two players. Of course, both are rather prominent in the community and have played for a long time, so they have the fancy scrolls. Guido has a turn 2 Nognest played right in the middle to lead things off. Tajic responds with a turn 2 play of his own, Hired Smuggler. Best possible 2-drop for Tajic. Passes over to Guido. He will have, has Binding Root in his deck. How interesting, though he does sacrifice it now to get out a breaker behind the Nognest. And passes over to Tajic, who finds a Thunder Surge but sacrifices it. Could power trip into Gravelock Elder, but it looks like instead he's going to play the more conservative but still very strong play of Stormrunner, and next turn he'll plan to burn that breaker. Guido, in the meantime, sacrifices his second breaker, finds a Striped Fangbear, perfect 4-drop, and he'll have a 5-drop next turn. Tajic sacrifices the power chip, so now he'll have burn into Elder, so very strong hands for both players, but I think Tajic probably has the advantage here, especially after he draws a scroll off of this Hired Smuggler. But note that the Nognest for Guido will spawn 2 Nogs on his turn, so he'll have some board presence between those and the bear, even after this strong turn by Tajic. So here comes that burn. Of course, hitting the breaker, drawing a scroll, it's a Violent Dispersal. And actually, very interesting, Tajic decided to deal 2 damage to the Fangbear, and that's really important. It does cost him the scroll that he would have drawn off the Pillage effect, but it puts the Striped Fangbear in Stormrunner range, and there's no way this bear can get out of range unless Guido finds a Rallying straight off the top. Those Nogs will spawn from the Nognest. They go up and down. Mangy Wolf is the find, but it's sacrificed for resources to play out Great Wolf. And now Guido sets up his units so that only a few will be hit by the Stormrunner. So the Stormrunner will move backwards to take out the bear. Gravelock Elder is played out in front, and Hired Smuggler moves up. Guido had to sacrifice his Mangy Wolf and now has an empty hand. We'll see what he can draw into here. Earthborn Mystic, Great Scroll, what will be sacrificed, another Great Wolf, and a Dryadic Power. So it looks like Guido has multiple copies of scrolls that reduce his opponent's move. So we'll see if he's able to get that on one of the Stormrunners or something to take away some of that mobility that makes it so powerful. But for this turn, it's just going to be another Great Wolf. And Guido's predicting a Bombard that's really going to hurt, but it's not Bombard, it's a 3rd Elder. But the Elder is sacrificed. Violent Dispersal takes out the ready-to-attack Wolf. And Hired Smuggler moves back behind, still not drawing scrolls off the Smuggler, just content to deal a little bit of damage. Of course, drawing a scroll would have probably cost the Smuggler her life. Guido has another Nognest, and really not a great hand. This is clever. He Dryadic Powers his Nognest, moves it up front and center, so that'll be 5 attack, just enough to take out the Gravelock Elder. Still has resources for Binding Root in hand and plays it on the Stormrunner, so it is in a great position on the board, but will not be able to move from it. So Guido should be able to control, especially with a Relentless unit, when the Stormrunner is able to deal damage or when it will die. Tajic, meanwhile, has that second Elder. The first one did die, so not able to get the multiple synergy. And the Stormrunner just deals a little bit of damage, not very potent at all, and will die to the Great Wolf. Ragged Wolf sacrifice finds another one with a Crimson Bull. Yeah. Guido says he's bad. I'm not sure what his mistake was necessarily. I just think that was an unfortunate draw. He could have Ragged Wolf Crimson Bull to deal a little bit of damage, but not a whole lot of relevant damage because of Tajic's placement. Ekomaton sacrificed, and resources spent on a Canonetta, played down to the bottom, facing off with the Nognest, and 3 more resources spent to replace the Stormrunner with a new one, down on the bottom, and the Hired Smuggler takes out the Nog. So that may have been the mistake, is moving that Nog out from behind the other Nog. Earthborn Mystic will come down, could play Ragged Wolf as well, but probably won't. Well, actually does. Goes ahead and deals 1 damage to the Stormrunner. And Gravelock Elder will be able to attack. The Nog can't move out of range because of the Dryatic power. Violent Dispersal comes down. The second dispersal, that's dispersed a wolf. And 3 damage dealt to the big Nog in the middle. And lots of damage coming from down here. The Nogs do spawn though. So 3 Nogs on the field. Guido sacrifices, finds Brother the Wolf, Invader of the Wild. Shifts his units up. Dryatic power this time on his opponent's unit, so it cannot move again. And Vader and Earthborn Mystic come down as well. So a lot of damage potentially from Tajic, but it looks like Guido should be able to weather the storm reasonably well. Ooh, Potion of Resistance, very strong against growth. But Machinated is what's going to come down here, so that'll take out 2 of those Nogs. Actually, the third one will fall to the Hired Smuggler as well. Dust Runner comes down. Maybe the cannon. Nope. Just the Potion of Resistance on the Gravelock Elder in front. So not a lot is going to be able to kill this Elder now. So lots of damage dealt. Guido's still not out of it by any means, but has a bit of a board to get through. Finds another Great Wolf, as well as another Nog Nest. Looks like Staghearts are involved in the deck as well. Great Wolf played out. And played where the Elder can get a shot off on it for 3 damage, which I don't know that I like that positioning as much. Especially with Sudden Eruption, and that's going to get played. What'll it hit? Oh, it hit the Wolf. Really unfortunate for Guido. There's a lot of... I mean, it was unfortunate for Guido, but there's a lot of things it could have hit, that Sudden Eruption. No matter what 2 units it hit, it was going to be rather damaging for him. So Tajic made the right play by sticking that out there and going for it, and the Wolf falls. 3 Great Wolves have been played, and 3 Great Wolves are down. Vengeful Vader's sacrifice. Finally, a Kinfolk Veteran comes. Nognest played out instead, though. Stagheart on the Earthborn Mystic, so that gets it up to 5. So that'll just deal some idle damage, really. Can't take out the Elder because of the Potion of Resistance. But a little bit of damage is done. Oh, this is going to be pretty devastating here, potentially. Tajic could Violent Dispersal that Nognest. Now it's... quite an expensive scroll to kill a Nognest, but it will allow the Dust Runner and Hired Smuggler to get through and kill both of these units. That would basically be a 3-for-1. So that's a move that I would be really tempted to do. We'll see what Tajic decides, though. It goes up to 7. Maybe he'll Sudden Eruption, or nope, here's that Violent Dispersal. And yep, takes out the Nognest, and here comes the cascading damage. Poor Earthborn Mystic with a Stagheart meets her end. Hired Smuggler gets yet another kill. Hasn't drawn any structures off the Smuggler, but instead has just done a ton of damage. Veteran sacrificed, and Stagheart drawn. Vilda the Verdant played out when Kinfolk Brave will follow. Actually, Stagheart follows. So that will take out this Stormrunner. So Guido has the bottom, Tajic has the top. Both players have their idols in good health, but Sudden Eruption is going to turn the tide right here. Look at all that damage. Only got 1 kill, but all these units are now at tremendous risk for dying to anything. All on 1 health. And Tajic's moving down. Rallying. Can't combo anything with it. Might just play out the Wetland Ranger and the Vader of the Wild. Wetland Ranger comes down. Vader goes up top. So that Vader play might just be trying to tempt these units to stay up there. He couldn't play it down here safe because that would connect his units for Thunder Surge, and that's not quite worth the risk. Tajic is power tripping, doesn't have a big play in hand, looking for a draw, doesn't find it. Will Spark, that takes out the Brave, and then lets his units stay there, and finally a card draw off the Smuggler. And then Guido looking to counter that. Needs a little bit more damage on that Elder. Plays a Wetland Ranger. Has Kinfolk Veteran in hand, but can't quite break through the 5 health yet. 1 Wetland Ranger gets an attack off that'll buff everybody up. Quite a bit of idle damage actually dealt, so Tajic needs to be careful because he's got 3 low health idols and 1 mid-range idol. Another Bombard is drawn, and I think that's the first Bombard of the game. So that means that there's 2 more Bombards in these 13 scrolls, so the next few rounds are going to be very powerful for Tajic. Guido might find himself in trouble, and look at the placement of this Oculus Cannon. We'll deal 4 and 1, or 4 and 2 and 1, which will take out both of these units after this Bombard is played. Can also play a Hired Smuggler, or even a Dust Runner to get a little bit more Bombard damage. Shifts his units down into the middle. He's going to draw a card off that Hired Smuggler. This is going to be... could draw... Yeah, he's going to draw 2 scrolls off this Bombard because of those Hired Smugglers. Look at this tremendous advantage generated by that scroll. Doesn't clear the board, but deals a ton of damage and draws 2 cards off the pillage units. Wow. That's going to be hard to come back from. Let's see what Guido has up his sleeve, what he can do. Kinfolk Veteran's powerful, so that can take out the Oculus Cannon. And that's what we're going to see. Keeps the Earthborn Mystic down to avoid a painful Thunder Surge. And, a Power Trip for Tajic, so he'll play that right away. That gets him up to 11, and he'll cantrip off of it. Pitches one of the Forges, finds another Bombard. We predicted those coming. There's still another one in here, so this is going to deal another giant pile of damage. Yeah, take your pick. Everything's going to die. Laying out more and more stuff. Bombard will come down as well, and he can also pump the Forge once, and there it goes. And so, wow, okay, lots of stuff's dying for Guido. In fact, I think everything is dead. And Tajic has a tremendous board presence. I don't think Guido's running any Quakes, and it's going to take a Quake to come back. He sees the writing on the wall and concedes the match. Well done to Tajic. Uses the Bombards when they finally came late in the game to finish things right away. This has been Smogan with Scrollscast. Thanks for watching, and catch the previous ones on the Badger Guild YouTube channel.